Hey there, I'm Celia, a French freelance illustrator and full-time designer. I'm creating videos about my art experimentations and many things around art. Welcome in this new sketchbook tour. So I started this sketchbook back in March and I just finished it today. I was super excited to show it to you. So I started by a challenge called the 36 type challenge. I wanted to do something really fluid with a lot of colors, but I got bored really quickly and I tried to do other color combinations. At the beginning I wanted to go for the same color palette for all the challenge, but then it was a bit repetitive. But then the color palette that I tried weren't really interesting enough. I mean, I don't like green, for example. So I did some tests, but it didn't turn out well, so I rapidly get bored. But I think I would definitely use my sketches as basis for digital illustrations because I really wanted to do this challenge and I really like the sketches. So I did some color test and then you will only see the sketches in this sketchbook. I think it's why I don't like so much this sketchbook, because there is so many repetitive sketches of letters and it doesn't make a really pretty sketchbook, even if I'm not really a fan of the pretty sketchbook concept. So all the 36 sketches are ready and I will use it soon. Then I wanted to practice human illustrations, so I used some reference from really interesting people on TikToks. I just did 2 or 3 sketches about really interesting people. You can have their username here. So I usually feel really inspired by people on TikTok, but I'm not drawing them that much. When I don't know what to draw, I really like to use my hands as references. Because it's really useful. You have your hands with you all the time, so it's quite easy to use your hands as references. So another really interesting person on TikTok, and when I don't know what to draw and I want to fill my sketchbook, I'm doing live drawing. I mean drawing of what happened around me. So this one and this one are in a bar in France. Some silly sketches. Another still sketch that I wanted to paint, but I never did. So this one is a test with Himi gouache, I think. Something that I should do and that I did later with gouache is paint the first layer of a flat color, because you can see that I went around all the tiny details and it doesn't look great because you can see all the brush strokes and it's a bit messy, and you will see later that there is a technique you can avoid that. I was a bit on art block, so the objective was to allow myself to do some silly sketches and some really dumb things in my sketchbook, so I would not be afraid of it anymore. So you can see it's just some really quick sketches with only 2 colors, so red and pink. There are some 3D pages in other artist sketchbooks that I really love because it gave a lot of dimensions, so I decided to try a lot of things, including cutting some pieces of paper in my sketchbook. So here the ideas were to try to give more dimensions. So there is a first dimension with the color and another dimension with the layers. So each layer has a different shape, and then you revealing it each time you're turning a page. I really like to use flowers as references for my drawings. So these are 2 pages that I found in a really old book on the website archive.org. It's really great website when you can find a lot of books, especially old ones. I really love the engravings in those old books. So usually I like to take some references from there. More test with the Himi gouache that I bought. So here the idea was just to try a really bold color. I don't like much the association of the light purple and light pink, but otherwise I really like the yellow background. So more live sketches, one where I was in vacation and one of my table with my computer. The idea isn't to have really accurate drawing, it's just to, you know, draw whatever it is there. I really like it as a warm-up exercise. Then I went to a really cool workshop. It was in June, so a really cool workshop in my city where there were someone telling us how to draw plants and animals. So learning how to draw trees was really interesting. I also learned how to draw ducks, which is quite difficult because the duck's head are like tiny potatoes, but not really potatoes, so it was really fun to do. This one was another exercise. The idea was to do a thumbnail and just work with the contrast. Obviously, the size that I took was way too big because it would have been more interesting for me to work on a thumbnail. This one is another cutting in my sketchbook. I really loved the cutting, but actually I didn't like much the color that I did behind, so I just glued a shading between pink and yellow. More gouache. So this one is a drawing that I did with Posca a long time ago, and I really wanted to make it another time, especially in my sketchbook, bigger, because the base format was like 10 centimeters tops, so I wanted a big format of that. So this is the painting that I was talking about. So here I used dark purple as a layer, and then I did all the details directly on the dark purple. So you can see it's working quite well with the tiny details, but it's not working that much with the flat areas because you can see that there is a different opacity. I really like this painting and I think I learned from it, so it was my objective. This is a sketch that I wanted to paint with monochrome colors, something probably pink, but I didn't do it yet, so I don't know if I will do it in the future. So here I wanted to experiment a lot with the sketchbook at this point. So this is on paper cut and stuck between two layers of tracing paper. It doesn't look like I expected because I wanted to see the background way more, and it's a bit blurry because you can't see well through, but it was funny to try it and the result is still quite interesting. So here at the beginning it was supposed to be the background of this page, but you can't see well through, so I decided to not just have a purple page, and I used my gold ink to do some details and lining on top. Ooh, this one is one of my favorite pages. So you can see I played with the cutting, so you can see through these pages because all the tiny elements, all the tiny planets and stars are holding each other. So when it's flat, you can see the background, which is a universe kind of background. But once you turn the page, it's just a blank night. And I didn't want to leave this page blank, so I decided to do some abstract lining, and I really love the result. Yeah, probably my favorite double page or 3 pages of the sketchbook. Then I also tried something that I wanted to try for a long time, but it doesn't turn out as expected, but still is quite interesting. So here you can see I have 4 sections, and each section has three pages. So for example, if I'm turning this page, you will see that it connects. Let's see, this one I will turn it twice, so I can see the 3rd layer. So you can see that you can follow the line, but it's changing colors and background. So each page is relevant because you can see that there is a full illustration on each page. So this was the first one. This is the second illustration with a really flashy pink background, and the third illustration with a yellow background. So this is the result of each page, and then if you want you can mix and match the different layers. So for example, here I want the first one, and here I want the pink one as well, or the yellow is great. So yeah, the concept is quite cool, and I want to try it again, but probably in a different sketchbook, because here it's moving too much, so it's a bit wonky. But apart from that, I really love the concept. So then I was continuing to destroy a bit this sketchbook. So I tried different cuttings and different color palettes. So here I really like the shape, but the color palette isn't really working for me. So something interesting is that when I'm moving a bit the paper, I can see a bit of the background of the second page. And this time I also tried to have like a shadow inside the shape, so it's a fake shadow. Here it's not working so much because it's a light orange, but in other ones it's working better. So I really like the association of the really flashy pink and the purple. So in this one I had 3 cuttings, so it's also really fun when you're moving around. So when it's aligned with the page underneath, you can see that there is a fake shadow and the blue, and if you're moving it a bit, it's like a lot more shiny with the yellow. This yellow is always popping a lot, I like it a lot. More pink. I don't like much the association of these 3 colors. I think this one is better because it's like more cold colors. So yeah, I wanted to get rid of this sketchbook, so the cuttings are helping me a lot to go through this sketchbook. And at the same time, I really wanted to do a lot of color palette tests, and it was really helpful for that because I can test really quickly different association, and it's really fun to do. I really like this color palette, it's really calming, and I don't know, really like it. Ooh, I really love this one as well. So obviously this one is one of my favorite color palette, the pink, the yellow and the purple. So this one I was playing safe, but nonetheless really great. It's working also well on the blue, but I think my favorite one is the purple, but it's also working well on the blue. So these are all the papers that I previously cut from the pages, and I didn't want to throw them, so I painted them and I arranged them to do a little collage. I really rarely do collage, but it's really fun to do, and this page is really working well and it's inspiring me a lot. I was a bit disappointed because I didn't have enough cutting to fill well this page, but this one is really fun. So I think I probably do more cuttings exercise in the future, because it's really fun to do, and it's, I don't know, it's like getting rid of art block really easily. So from here, I used the sketchbook backward because I'm using all the end of my sketchbook has notes and quick sketches that I'm doing for my project ideas. So for example, here you can find some ideas for product packaging and also some gouache ideas. So this one you probably recognize because it's just before. A quickly doodle from a future lino print. The sketches for my tiny zine. Some stickers ideas and tote bag ideas. More stickers, more lino prints. Here I wanted really bad to get back to inking because I really like inking, and I think I will do more in the future. It was just some tests, some ideas for people that could move in the sketchbook and create some movement. I didn't try any of that, but I will definitely in my next sketchbook. More ideas. So this one is a concept that you saw and that's not working so well. I did this one as well. Some color palette test. Here at the end of my sketchbook, I'm also keeping all my color palette. This one is the color palette of my Himi jelly gouache. This one is a full saturated version, and this one is the colors mixed with white, so I could see the range of the colors that I can use. More project sketches, some tattoo ideas that I like a lot, some fruits that I wanted to try out as stickers, a random page of markers that I didn't know where to put, more project ideas, more random ideas, the Arteza Gouache color palette, the Holbein Acryla Gouache color palette, some color palette test. So this one was some test for the 36 lettering challenge. So I was comparing different colors here, and then I picked up the color that I wanted to use. And this is the end of my sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I was really happy to finish it, and I can't wait to start another one. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you soon. Bye!